In this video, I want to show you 5 of my favorite shots that I took with the AntiGravity A1 on a recent trip to Australia. And as I play these shots, I want to narrate on the unique features of a 360 drone that allowed these shots to happen, and show you why it's so easy when you're filming with a 360 drone to capture really unique shots. But first, I should probably show you what the AntiGravity A1 drone is, in case you're not familiar with it. So this is the AntiGravity A1 drone. It's a 360 drone because it's got a camera on the top and on the bottom. The videos and photos from these 2 lenses get stitched together in the camera to create a full 360 sphere. And as you fly the drone, you wear these goggles, which provide a full immersive 360 experience. So you can actually look all around the shot, no matter which way your drone's flying, and these goggles give you that full view, which is really amazing, and some shots make it really, really special. You control the drone with this little remote here. It's got a trigger to adjust the speed, and inside the goggles, you're gonna see a little dot that's a pointer of where your drone is gonna go. So you just move this controller around to adjust where that little dot is on your screen. The drone is gonna fly exactly right there. So you can fly through tiny little spaces, and you know exactly where your drone's gonna fly. You don't have the complicated controls of a remote, and there's basically no learning curve. So as I show people my shots, I always love to explain how I captured this and kind of explain how it works. So let me show you 5 of my favorite shots that I captured on my recent trip to Australia, and really explain why they happened because of this 360 drone. So some of these shots that I'm gonna show you are how you actually physically fly the drone, and others are just how you edit it when you go into post-production using AntiGravity Studio or their app. And either way you do it with this 360 drone, it's super simple, but it's gonna look pretty trick. The first shot I wanna show you is a reframing shot. For this shot, even though it doesn't look like it, I actually flew the drone in a single straight line. And it's actually less of a single shot and more of the style that you're gonna use when you film with the AntiGravity A1. Just so you guys can understand how this works, this shot's a good example. This is where the term fly first, frame later comes in, because you can actually fly your drone in a straight, simple path and use post-production editing later, either the AntiGravity app or AntiGravity Studio, and you can reframe the videos to show different perspectives. So you can fly one single straight path like I did here, and then you can angle the camera up and do a tilt reveal, for example, or you can just do a simple straight push in where you're going towards your subject. You can also take that same flight path and look behind you. So you're doing a pull back and you're getting away from your subject. I mean, there's just so many things you can do with one single flight path, which allowed me to really relax as I filmed these shots, because I knew if I just put the drone in the scenery, then later I could get really creative with which shots I wanted to use. And I didn't need to fly 7 times on the same path to get those different shots. I could fly once, and when I go and edit, you can just pull multiple shots out of the same one. So all I did to change the perspective was I took the video into AntiGravity Studio on my computer, and then I added a little keyframe right here. And that's a marker of the perspective that you choose to show. And then you can go further in the video and change that perspective to another perspective and add another keyframe. And now your video is gonna shift from that one keyframe to the next. And that's basically the way I created this whole shot. And if you don't even want to choose your own perspectives like I showed you, you can just go into the AntiGravity app and choose some of their pre-designed templates. It's got these movements right here. So you can just drag your video in, and it's gonna add those movements automatically to it. Like this beat spin, for example, it's gonna automatically create those movements for you and go from black and white to color. So it's a pretty cool effect, and you don't even have to do it. You just drag your videos in. Also, what's really unique about flying a 360 drone is you're not gonna miss anything. So I was flying a straight line here, trying to head towards that bay there, and then all of a sudden this bird comes flying by the camera. So all of a sudden I can just change the direction of what I want to focus on to show that bird fly by. I do wish I was recording in a slow motion frame rate so I could have slowed it down, because that would have looked really cool. But I was trying to get the highest resolution for this shot. So this reframing shot is basically just the essentials of what you're going to be doing if you decide to get the AntiGravity A1, or if you already have it. I'm going to show you some more creative shots you can get uniquely with this 360 drone. The second shot that I want to show you was one of my favorite shots I filmed. And this was just because it actually felt so good to film this shot because of those goggles that I was wearing. So this shot is just an easy first-person view dive where it looks like you're actually diving down this waterfall like that. And it was just a fully immersive view of a beautiful scenery, beautiful waterfall and jungle. And it was so fun to have those goggles on and feel like you were diving down the waterfall, but really, it was very simple. All I actually did to film this shot is I took the drone and I flew it right to where the waterfall started to pour over the cliff and went kind of back a little bit, where the river is about to pour down. Then I just rotated the drone using this controller and got the drone ready so it's facing forward right off the cliff. Then I just flew the drone right to the edge of the cliff, and when I got to the edge, I just went straight down. So it wasn't like a first-person view drone, which is really hard. You gotta actually fly the drone vertically down the cliff. I just went like this and straight down, and then I was able to look at that view in the goggles and see straight down the cliff. And also when I went to edit, I was able to direct the viewer's eye down there, so it looks like you're actually going down with the waterfall. So this was one of my favorite shots, and when I got to the bottom, I flew straight forward into that jungle, and I didn't even realize how beautiful the view was behind me because I was looking forward as I filmed it. And I turned the shot around and I looked and I was like amazed at the beautiful waterfall pouring over the cliff with the jungle. And it was just an amazing scene that I would have missed if I was just looking forward as I flew through that jungle. So that's just another one of the great parts of reframing, and getting an easy FPV shot like that with this drone is just so easy. So either you can learn to fly an FPV drone, or you can just get this simple drone that's going to give you the option to show that perspective or another perspective out of the same shot. This third shot's called a tracking shot. So on this tracking shot, it was really fun to film because I showed up unexpectedly upon this group who was doing this highline in this beautiful valley. And I made sure with them it was okay if I filmed. I didn't want to distract them, make them fall or whatever, even though they're secured. But still, they were like totally cool. You can film. So I went ahead and I flew the drone when he was right at about the middle of the highline. And because the drone, I knew I could reposition where the subject was, I was able to focus on the movements of the drone around that highline. And I just paid extra special attention to where the drone was in relation to that line, because it does have object avoidance, but that's a very small little thin line. So I wasn't sure how good the AntiGravity A1 would see that and notice it. So I just made sure that I flew a kind of corkscrew spiral around that and moved towards the subject as I was filming. And also, as I'll show you in another shot, because the anti-gravity can film all directions, I could go underneath the highline and look up at the guy who was walking on this. And it was just such a cool perspective. He was just so high above the forest floor. So this is a really fun shot to film. And I was really only able to get a shot like this because I was filming with a 360 drone where I didn't have to worry about tracking my subject as I flew. I could just worry about the drone's positioning, and I knew later I could reframe the shot and track the subject really easily. So this is a really fun shot to get. The fourth shot I want to show you guys looks really tricky, but once again, with the A1, it's super easy to do. Yet when you go to edit, you can make it look super tricky. And this is a FlyOver track shot. It was really easy to get this shot because all I basically had to do was position my camera where I knew the surfer was going to do the turn. And I know that because I surf a lot. So I just sat the camera where a section was going to be. And then when he came close, I didn't have to worry about following him because I knew with the drone, I could change the perspective from facing forward to underneath as he went under, and then follow him as he went down the line and off into the golden colors of Coolangatta. So it's very easy to do. And I got a couple of shots like this. And it's just a really cool perspective because if you were flying an FPV drone, it's really hard to do. You'd have to do this move called the FPV Matty flip, and you'd have to do it just the right timing because surfing happens so fast. So it was really super easy to do that. You just hover the drone there and then you get a shot that looks super tricky. It was really fun to film these super long waves with such beautiful lighting out at Snapper Rocks, although I probably surfed more than I should have because I could have shot more. But it was firing, so I couldn't really resist. But I did get some cool shots too. The fifth 360 drone shot that I want to show you guys has a few different names, but I'm going to call it the boom up, tilt up shot, or it could be a pedestal tilt up shot. There's a few names for it, but basically what you can do with the 360 drone that makes it super easy, and it's a huge game changer, is you can actually look straight up. So you don't even have to use like heavy lift cinema rigs or a specialized 360 gimbal. All you do is fly the drone up, and then when you go to reframe, you just look up. And also because you're wearing those goggles, when you're out there flying, you can actually look up and see, okay, that's going to be a cool perspective. So here I was at this waterfall, and I was having a lot of fun doing those easy FPV dives where you feel like you're flying down the waterfall. And then when I got to the bottom of the waterfall, I looked up and I was like, oh, that'd be pretty cool to go up, especially because I knew you can look up with a 360 drone. So I filmed a few different shots of this waterfall, but one of them I went to the bottom and went straight up the waterfall. And this waterfall just went really high up into the forest. So I just followed the thing all the way up. And it was such a cool perspective, and you can just do it so easy with the 360 drone. And you can see it as you're filming because of those goggles. You just look up, see where you're going. If you want to look back down, you can do that. But you're never stuck to what you're seeing in the goggles because you can always reframe it later. So you can look around as much as you want, enjoy the scenery, and when you get back in the post-production, in the studio, start to edit, you can pull out whatever shots you want. Unlike a regular drone where if you look up too high, you're going to see the propellers above it, on the AntiGravity A1, you have 0 mechanical limits. So you can look any direction and that drone disappears in the middle. So you can reframe the shot wherever you want, whether it's up, down, sideways, or however you want it. So it's a huge game changer to have that up perspective. Like I also showed you in that highline shot, I went under the highline and I could look up at it. Whereas with a regular drone, you can't do that. So that really allows for unique shots without specialized equipment. It's just a simple drone and it's simple to fly it. And one other thing I did want to mention is that if you damage these lenses, they're replaceable. So you can just swap out the lenses on the spot. And for me, that was a huge peace of mind knowing I could just swap those out. And if you do need more major repairs, AntiGravity has a repair center in California and also throughout North America. So it's really easy. You don't have to worry about the drone because you can get it fixed easy. And most likely you're just going to scratch the lenses if anything, and you can repair those right on the spot. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching those shots as much as I enjoyed filming them. I feel like for both the viewer and the filmer, it's such a unique perspective. And honestly, that's just the tip of the iceberg of the types of shots you can capture with the AntiGravity A1. I had so much fun filming with this, and I do all the time when I film with it, and you never miss a thing. So that's one of the great benefits. You're filming everything, you pick what you want to show later, and that's why it's fly first, frame later. If you do decide to pick up the AntiGravity A1, check out my beginner's guide. It's going to help you get the drone up in the air and start filming. I've also got an AntiGravity A1 book coming very soon with tons of inspiration on how to get good shots with this drone. It's the AntiGravity A1. It's my favorite drone.